I made over $500,000 last year using this beginner two-step strategy I'm about to expose in this video. After trading for 7 years and trying everything from smart money concepts to supply and demand opening range breakouts, this strategy beats all of them by a mile. It only takes 30 to 60 minutes a day, and it's so simple that over 1,000 people who have tried it have started seeing consistent profits every single week. Let's dive in. So this strategy is called balance theory, and the first step of this two-step strategy is simply finding a balance zone. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what that is and show you a few different examples of the strategy so you can trade it yourself and make consistent profits from it. Now, a balance zone is very, very simple. You see, stocks always move in two different forms. They'll have an expansion where it's going straight up, and then there'll be a consolidation where price is kind of going back and forth. You can see on this example here where we have the phases laid out pretty simple. You can see we have a nice consolidation phase here, and then we have a nice little expansion phase here when price goes from this low all the way up to this high relatively quickly. Now, what we're looking for with balance theory is one of these consolidation zones. We call that a balance zone. And the best way to really figure this out is just by looking at your chart. You can go to a daily chart, and I'll show you a few examples as well, how it works on like a 5-minute and a 1-minute chart if you want to scalp this. But just for example purposes, you can see on a daily chart of Texas Roadhouse right now, we have a very, very solid balance zone right here. We actually have another one right here. I want to focus in on this example right here. Now, what actually makes a good balance zone? Well, it's very, very simple. You want to look for clear support and clear resistance on both sides. You can see we have a nice little support level right around here. Actually, let me go ahead and darken this for you so we can make it a little bit more clear, just like that. And then we have a resistance level right around this area here, all right? Now, again, the lines don't need to be perfect. You don't need to get this exact low, this exact top. You just want to find around the area. You can see, right around here, we have a bunch of different support areas around this level, so I can put it right around there. Resistance lines is right around here, right around here. We could put another line up here if we wanted to, but you kind of get the idea, right? Now, once you have your balance zone identified, all you want to do is draw a zone around it, right? So we'll use the top of this area here all the way down to this line here, just like that, okay? I'm just going to get rid of this middle line just to make it a little bit more clear. But there you go. That is our balance zone, right? So again, you can find this. I'm going to show you a few more examples, but step one of the strategy, really, really simple. Just find a balance zone, all right? Now, step two of the strategy is actually trading this, okay, and how you're going to go about trading it. Now, when you see this type of balance zone, and I'm just going to give you a quick example right here to show you exactly what I'm looking for, so it's a little bit more clean, right? Let's say this is our balance zone. Now, typically, most people trade support and resistance in this zone. Now, balance theory is not support resistance, okay? It's very, very important to understand. I'm not just buying at the bottom and selling at the top. Now, in a balance zone, that's going to happen quite a bit, right? You can see all the way up here, we have a lot of opportunities to buy here and sell here. But the issue with this is that eventually the trade's not going to work. You could buy it right down here, and then it's going to go right past your stop loss. Same thing right here. If you're shorting right here, you would have got stopped out on this little wick. So how do we avoid that? And how do we use balance theory to actually trade this in the right way? Well, it's very, very simple. All you want to look for is what we call a false breakout of that balance zone. So let's say price is inside balance. All we want to see is price come back below balance and then eventually come back inside, right? That's going to be the false breakdown of this zone. Now, before I explain step two of the strategy, I first want to explain the whole synopsis behind how this actually works inside of the market and what's actually going on. So you can see inside of a balance zone, price is considered fair, okay? We can draw this out and call this fair. You can kind of call it fair value, right? And when that's happening, there's an equal amount of buyers and sellers, okay? So buyers equal sellers. So you just have a bunch of different buyers and a bunch of different sellers in this area here, right? Now, when this is the case, let's say, for example, price were to dump, just like this. Price dumps out of this zone. What does that mean? It means everyone who bought is going to sell. They're going to have their stop loss in place, right? They typically have it right below support. So there's going to be added selling pressure when this happens. And there's going to be new shorts who are selling the breakdown, right? It's a very classic strategy: buy the opening range breakout, sell the opening range breakdown. And so you're going to have basically a ton of selling pressure right in this area right here, right? Tons of selling pressure. Now, what happens if we have a bunch of selling pressure, but then price just ends up going back the other way, right? We would expect price to just go straight down and continue to dump all the way down here. But if that doesn't happen, it shows us that institutions are buying this dip. They're buying it like crazy, and they're loading up on all those shares, and they're buying all those stop losses. And that is where the opportunity is in play. Now what happens when price comes back up inside of the zone? What's happening? Everyone who's short here, remember we said a bunch of different selling pressure coming in. So when price goes back inside that balance zone, everyone who's short, what happens? They need to stop out. How do you stop out? By buying. Exactly. So what they do is they start buying, and that drives price all the way back up. So that's the how the market actually works behind this theory. So how do we actually trade it? Well, very, very simple. Take a look at this balance theory zone on TXRH, right? What happens? We have our little balance zone, and price falls out of it. Now, does price dump all the way down here and we just keep selling off? No. What do we happen? It dips. We come back up. We retest this support level, use it as resistance. We come back down, and what do we see again? More buying. There's something going on here, right? We should have seen this just completely dump with all the selling pressure, with everyone who bought in here selling, and all these new shorts who are adding on all the way right around here, right? We should have seen price just completely dump, but that didn't happen. And when that happens, we know that institutions are buying here, so price comes back inside. This is where we look to get long, okay? It's going to be right in this area, right around here. As soon as price comes back inside of this balance zone, that's where you want to buy, all right? Very, very simple. Where do we look to target? You want to target the other side of balance. Again, price likes to stay inside this balance zone, right? It's kind of like a home. Remember, buyers and sellers are equal inside of this area. So price is going to continue to bounce back and forth between here until there is an imbalance, until buyers are stronger and we take price higher, or sellers are stronger and they take price lower. So we can use advantage to this and actually trade balance theory by doing this, right? So if I were to zoom in on like a 1 hour chart, you can see when price finally establishes itself back inside of balance, we can look to get long. We can put our stop loss, if we're using classic price action right below these lows right here, target the other side. We have a pretty classic 1.7 hour trade just like this. Now, this is just one example. I want to show you another example to make sure you guys are a complete master at this. And we're actually just going to move on to like a 5-minute or 1-minute chart just to make this really, really easy, okay? Because I showed you a daily chart. You can also apply this to scalping. So this is literally an example from today trading ES futures, all right? Take a look at this, right? So this is ES futures. Now, what do we see happen, right? Market opens all the way down here. We start to go up a little bit. Then we start to come back down. And we start to sort of identify a little bit of a balance zone right around here, right? What do we see? We have a nice little base resistance right here, and we have a nice little support here, and a nice little equal resistance right around this area here. Now, this is a beautiful little zone. We see this form right around here, okay? So as we're looking at this price action, right, all the way back here, what do we see happen? We see price dump, okay? So we would expect a lot of selling pressure and price to dump even more. What happens? It doesn't do that. There's obviously some buying going on around this area here. It takes price higher. When price gets back inside of this balance zone, right around these 1 or 2 candles here, that's where you want to get long. So you easily could have gotten here, scalped this, got in long right around there, put your stop below the low, just like that, and then target the highs of the other side of balance, just like that, for a nice 1 hour risk reward. For anyone who's like, oh, you need a 2R, you need a 3R risk reward, you don't need that. I'm going to be honest. If this wins 60% of the time, you don't care about that. You care about what makes you money. And after trading 7 years, I can tell you profitability matters way more than risk reward. Now, again, you can obviously change the strategy a little bit. You could have put your stop loss right below these 1-2 candles and went with a 3R trade. But that's just an example of how you can use this strategy. And look what happens. Look how crazy that this works. We came up. What do? We went right back down. Did we break down? No, we saw buyers step in at the bottom of the balance zone. What happened? More starters back. They came back in, right? We saw a nice little engulfing pattern right here, just like that. Beautiful. We came back in. You could have looked to get in on this support level, right? We failed to break down. We came back up. You get in on this pullback, put your stop loss right below the low. You target the high. It's a nice, basically close to a 2R trade, just like that. Just a quick 10-point scalp. Right, that's $500 using one ES contract. And you can find this opportunity pretty much every single day trading ES futures. And again, the same thing happens to the reverse. Price goes up. What do we find outside the top of balance, right? Do we see that there's an imbalance of buyers and sellers? No, right? Price just immediately comes back inside. So what do? You look to get short right around here, put your stop loss above the high, you target all the way down here at the lows. and then you go on about your day. Just 1 or 2 quick scalps like this, and you're gonna be chilling, making a ton of money using this very simple strategy. Now, just to give you one little secret that's really gonna master the strategy and make sure you become a complete expert at it, is one little extra step you can add to give you a higher confirmation for your trades. All right, now on this example, I'm going to use a daily chart in a very, very longer time frame. Again, this will work on a 5 minute, it'll work on a 1 minute. I just want to use this as an example. All right, so let's say this is our balance zone on ELS, right? You can see we have a very clear resistance right around here, very clear support right around here. What do we want to look for to make sure that price is actually ready to start going back up? Like, let's say, for example, price comes down, we come back up. Like, how do we know we're not going to, just go back down and use this previous support as a resistance? Well, here's what you want to do, all right? So let's say in this example, price comes back down. What do we want to see? We want to see a shift in trend, right? So obviously when price is coming down here, what is happening? Price is making lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, right? Now, when price comes back in this balance zone, what do we want to see happening? We want to see higher highs and higher lows form. Do we see that? Yes, we have our low, we have our high, right? We have another low, we have another high. You can kind of see how we make this higher high and higher low formation when before we were making lower lows and lower highs, just like that. Once you see this happen, that's when you can get into a trade and really take advantage of this. The crazy part is you don't even need to catch this very bottom of this balance zone to make money, right? If you just play the trend and find a good risk reward, for example, I could have gotten right here on this pullback, right in the middle of the balance zone, put my stop right below this low right here, and then target the other side. That's still a solid 2.2 R trade. You don't need to catch the very bottoms, the very lows. The cool part is you know where price is going to go. When price fakes out at the bottom here and it comes back inside, it may bounce around for a while. It may go up, may go down, may bounce around, but eventually it's going to make its way to the other side. That's the nature of the strategy, and that's why it works so well. So you can set up a bunch of different trades surrounding this theory and use it to make consistent income. Now, the crazy part is I turned this entire theory into a very simple indicator that you can put on your chart, and I called it triple line method. And this is strictly for day trading, not really for swing trading, but it works extremely simple. All it does is this indicator, just like this. You plot it on, and it charts 3 different levels on your chart, right? I'll go to like MSTR, a little bit easier to see here, but that's all it does. It has 3 simple lines, and you basically use these lines as your balance zone. That's really how simple that it works. When price comes below, it comes back inside, you trade it to the other side. And the best part about this is this strategy is so simple that we've taught it to over 1,000 students, and they've been crushing. If I show you right here, you can see Ryan made money trading this, Tom made money, Dawson made money, Tommy, $2,000 on his first live trading account, Tanner, perfect target on MUTLM, that's a shortened abbreviation for triple line method, again, the strategy I'm showing you. Kevin made money, Dawson, you can see Hector made a bunch of money today. Ivan also made money. You can see there's a profit I posted on Shopify trading this. Gerardo, Gabe again, Lewis, Teddy, Ivan. This is all from today as well. This is just today, and we're only like 4 or 5 hours into the market being open. Okay, now if you're interested in learning triple line method, learning the strategy, getting one-on-one guidance from myself and my team of coaches, we've done it with over 1,000 students. We have a verified 65% win rate, tracked over 4,000 trades between our students. And you can click the first link in the description to hop on a call with someone from our team to see if you would be a good fit for our mentorship. We don't let anyone in. We're very, very selective about who we let in. We don't do any alerts. We're strictly about teaching you and giving you the tools so you can profit for yourself and join this group of incredible traders of making consistent profit. So go ahead, click the link below if you just want to apply and talk with someone one-on-one from our team to see if it even makes sense. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.